Hi, I'm Mike from Rock and Load, and I have the pleasure today of talking to Klaus from Ugly Kid Joe. Thank you very much for talking to us today, Klaus.
Right.
Pleasure to meet you. Right, Ugly Kid Joe's first album in 19 years. It's a hell of a long time between albums, isn't it? You've probably been asked this question many, many times. Why have you just decided now to start to make a new album?
Well, we sort of started, the ball started rolling a few years ago. We did some tours, we did an EP, and then this time around we got connected with this guy to make a pledge campaign.
Yeah.
And that whole thing behind that is like, you get funded. We don't have a record company really. We don't have the money, so let's do a pledge campaign and see how it goes. And it went great, and we just went for it. And Dave Fortman, who's our guitar player, producer guy, he has a studio in Louisiana, and we just went there for 3 weeks, and it was great. It was really cool because we kind of went in cold, but at the same time, we had some ideas and songs and things like that. But it was just 3 weeks of just in a studio, 14 hours a day, non-stop.
So did you have nothing written before you went into the studio?
I can say we didn't have anything we really knew for sure was going to be a song on the record. Right. We weren't like, these are the 5 songs. It was like, I have a song, he has a song, I got some lyrics, he's got some lyrics, I got a melody. Let's try to make these songs. That's more of how it was. There was really maybe 1 song, 2 that were like written that actually made the record. And the rest was all just kind of hodgepodge and put together in the studio.
There's 7 of you in total, isn't there, that contributed to the album? Did everybody contribute to the songwriting as well?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, in their own little way. I think mainly, of course, it'd be like me, Dave, Whit, Sonny wrote some riffs. Cordell always add some stuff, and of course the drummers do their drumming and help with the arrangements. So
as I said, it's 19 years since, apart from Stairway to Hell, which was the EP that came out, it was 3 years ago now, was it?
Right, 2012.
Yeah, 3 years ago, which was also on a pledge campaign, wasn't it?
No, that was not
Kickstarter.
That was for the video we did.
For It's All Right.
Stairway to Hell is one of the reasons we did this.
For It's All Right, wasn't it?
Yeah, Stairway to Hell was the way we funded that, was me and Whit, and we were like, that was rough. Yeah. So we're like, next time we do a record, let's try to get money from somewhere else, because we cleaned out our bank accounts. Barely had enough to do it. So pledge rules.
Absolutely, it does. It's the way
we
forward.
We wouldn't have been able to make one.
No, absolutely. But it also proves that you've still got fans out there that are willing to put their money forward.
Pleasantly surprised, to say the least.
Yeah. As I say, it's 19 years since the last album. What are the similarities between recording an album 19 years ago? I'm not going to say what are the differences, because there's tons of differences. Right. So what are the similarities now between then and now?
Well, of course, back then we had a major label, so we were in these big fancy studios. And never really loved that. I mean, I think it's kind of cooler to do it more in a mom and pop type studio, where everything's kind of dirty and messy, but it sounds good.
Is that what Dave's is like? It's just...
Well, yeah, they have a nice big studio that he built but doesn't own anymore, but that we did the drums in, and then we went into their little studio, which was like a little house. It literally is a house converted into a studio, like a couple of the rooms. And it's got that vibe, that we like. And so back then, we're at A&M Studios, and we're at Sound City, which was pretty cool. We got to record there, which was, I don't know if you heard of that. It's
absolutely.
Yeah. And so it's really cool in those experiences, but it's financially, it's crazy, because they're so expensive when you put it. I mean, we weren't paying for it back then, the record company was, but we were like, why didn't we just do this somewhere else and save, $100,000, So anyway, that's the big difference. Back then we were with major label, and now we're with no label.
Well, everything's done in-house now, isn't it? Your own managers, or have you got one person that does
Whit's
all the
managing, and he's co-managing with Gav, and so, but Whit's been pretty much, me and Whit started managing, and I couldn't handle that. Managing a band's a nightmare. Yeah. And so Whit took over, and he's doing great. And then now he got a co-manager with Gav. So we've all kept it in house. And then like our artists are all kind of like either fans or bros or whatever. And so everything kind of comes together. And then now we have a Metalville out of Germany. That's what do you call it when you put the record out?
Distribution. Your label.
Distribution. Yeah.
So just in Germany, or for the whole of Europe, or
something like that.
Right.
But so there's little pockets and stuff. But when it comes to the creative side, we do everything in house. We pick the studio, we pick the producer, we do everything. And in fact, our producer is in the band, and It's his studio.
Talking of which, Dave's produced the whole. Has he produced the whole album, or is it?
Oh yeah, we started
just leave it to Dave.
Just started day one. You know, rolled in Louisiana, all of us, and Dave was at the helm the whole time.
Because he's now a famous producer, but he's also still the guitarist along with yourself and Sonny in Ugly Kid Joe. Is it easier for yourself and Sonny putting guitar parts forward and producing them and mixing them with Dave as the producer?
It's super easy. I mean, in terms of like, there's no intimidation factor or anything like that. And if he says, if he doesn't like something, he can just say it, and we'll just laugh about it.
Yeah.
And he'll say it in a funny way. He won't just say, "I need to talk to you about this thing." He'll just be like, "That sucks, Klaus. That cute little riff, out." So it's really easy and not intimidating.
And he knows that you'll just accept it. And
yeah. You know. And if I can't play a part, I'll just say, "Dave, you play it," and who cares? You know, whoever plays it better. It's not an ego thing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Was it the same 19 years ago?
Yeah,
or
pretty much. I mean, yeah.
So why did the band actually split up then? Was it because of the record labels and the whole music business in general? Or?
It had something to do with it for sure. There was a lot of like that thing around us, the machine, and a lot of like elements, not within the five of us, but around us that were sort of turning sour, I guess you could say. And of course, then let's just be honest, the record started tanking at the end, and therefore everything around us started getting really kind of weird, because that's how it is. That's the business.
Not because they were bad records, though.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying in terms of success-wise, of course, the company that you're with, they don't really care. They just care about the bottom line, what you're selling and what you're doing. So that all started getting weird outside of us, and then within the band too. I think it was a little bit of just, it's been now 7 years. We're at the end of the line, so to speak, at least as far as the company's concerned and all that. And maybe it's time, And then I think that the cool thing is that we did it maybe before we really ran it into the ground, so to speak, which may have caused, not such a good breakup. But we pretty much all were like, okay,
stay friends,
gave each other hugs and said good luck, and we all stayed friends. I mean, probably 3 days later, I was out snowboarding with Dave, after the band broke up or something.
Yeah. The new album, to me, it sounds just like a continuation. It sounds like the fourth album that you didn't make back then.
Yeah.
And I think America's Least Wanted is your best album, but this is just as good.
Cool.
It's a fantastic album. Talking of which, you've got a couple of guest stars on the album, haven't you? Dallas Frasca, I'd never heard of her before.
Neither had I.
Before I heard her sing on the album, on Papa Was a Rolling Stone. She sings on it. You'd done a cover version of that.
What happened was we did a tour in Australia last year, 2014. And at the end of the tour, I went home, but Whit and Sonny stayed in Australia, and they were in Melbourne, I believe it was. That's where they're from, and then they met Dallas Frasca, and they were actually in the studio, and Whit and Sonny joined them. And the next thing you know, it's like, let's put the song on the record.
So that's how you met her.
Yeah.
And she's got a fantastic voice, hasn't
she?
she?
She's a great singer. Yeah.
And it complements Whit's voice perfectly.
Yeah, it's kind of cool
on the song.
Yeah.
Who decided to do Papa Was a Rolling Stone?
I don't know.
Was it a joint
guess
decision?
Is that it was a joint.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. Can you sing that? Yeah, I can sing that. Okay, let's try that. I wasn't there. I wasn't in the room.
Right. I was saying earlier on, it is, even though it's an old Temptations, wasn't it? I think.
No, I don't even know what it is. There's two versions of it, the old versions, and they did the so-and-so version of it.
Right.
Sorry.
But it's a rocky song anyway.
Yeah.
For a soul type song originally, it's a rocky song anyway. You're doing a great version. And also you got Phil Campbell from Motorhead, that plays on 3 songs. You've done Ace of Spades and 2 of your own. Did Phil co-write the other 2?
No. What happened was we did Ace of Spades, obviously, and then we right away were like, we've been friends with Phil for a long time, and especially in the last few years, we've been seeing him everywhere. It seems every show we play in UK, he pops up and whatnot. And so Whit actually called him and said, "Hey, you want to do the lead on Ace of Spades? We just covered it for our new record." And he's like, "Sure." And then he's all, "What about any other songs you got?"
Right, so it's Phil's.
So we were like, "Really?" We were like, "Well, send him a few songs that we haven't done leads yet to."
Right.
And we sent him like 2 or 3 songs, and he shredded over. I believe he did it in England at his son's studio. I might be wrong about that, but he we sent him the stuff via email. He put down the lead, sent us the files, and Dave just flew him into the song.
They've both definitely got his. You can tell.
Oh yeah, it's so.
I mean, I know that he was playing on them,
right.
But you can tell that it's him that's playing on them. And
cool.
My Old Man is my favourite song on the album that he plays on.
Yeah.
So what's your favourite song on the album?
Oh wow, I like The Enemy. I like a lot.
Yeah.
It's a strange story.
It is. It's a strange song as well, isn't it?
It was a song that we couldn't figure out what to do with it. We wanted to do it heavy at first, and then it was really weird because it was two parts too. It was like I wrote the verse and then Whit wrote the chorus, and then we were trying to mash these two things together into a song. But I think it's like one part was written to be heavy, one part was written to be mellow.
So
we tried to do the heavy part, we tried to do the mellow, we couldn't, and then finally in the end, like literally in the 11th hour, it was like, let's try it this way, and that's when we just started recording it like it ended up, and we're like, there it is,
and it worked.
Yeah. So
because when you're listening to the album for the first time, you think, all right, that's it, end of the album, lovely song to finish on, and then it just rocks in, doesn't it, at the end?
So we got the heavy part in too.
Yeah. It's fantastic. As I said earlier on, there's now 7 members of Ugly Kid Joe that recorded the album. You've not got all 7 members on this tour, have you? No. So which members?
Well, it's really simple. It's the simplest thing in the world. 2011 is when we first got to get me, the 5 of us, like Shannon, Dave, Whit, Cordell, and me, got together to do the EP. And we hadn't even talked about touring. We didn't know if that was even a possibility, but we hoped it was. When the touring thing came out, both Shannon and Dave told us straight up, look, we can't commit to long-term tours with you guys because of our other commitments. Dave producing and Sonny and Shannon and Godsmack. Yeah. So we said, that's fine, we'll find other guys, and then if you ever can, and the funny thing is we got Zach and Sonny. Now Sonny grew up with Shannon, so it's this and we've known Sonny since the Snot days back in Santa Barbara. So it's like this weird, it's like we've been in bands sort of next to each other forever, and now we're actually in a band together. So, and Zach's a young kid we found in LA through Sonny, and that just is amazing. And he's got no ego, and he's just a great drummer, and he's willing to do whatever, and he listened. When him and Shannon got in the studio together, it was great to see like the young guy and then the veteran, kind of like changing ideas, kicking ideas around. So that the basic fact is that Sonny and Zach have been our touring band members since we reunited, and Dave and Shannon are technically still in the band, but they're not going to tour, even though we did do one tour to Brazil with the 5 of us. So anyway, long story short, the touring band, we decided, why don't we just have those guys we've been playing with for 3 years, let's have them play on the record. Yeah. Why not? And that's how it is.
I saw you at Download in 2012, I think it was, Download Festival. And you absolutely killed it on that day.
Thanks.
Would you say that was a make or break show for you? Or?
I don't know. I really don't. I mean, I would never think that going into it, or want to think that, because then you're gonna if you fuck up, you're gonna be like, oh, we blew it. But I think everything that we've done now, after the reunion, is like, what happens. We just can do our best and can't control anything. Yeah. Because make or break is more, I think, when you're a band that's never been, there's no name. It's just out of nowhere this band shows up, and they get a big show like that. I can see where that could be really stressful in the sense that make or break. But I mean, there was a little bit of that, I would have to say, but not as much as there would have been had it been 1990.
Yeah. But it was such a success. That show at Download, wasn't it? You must have all been buzzing afterwards.
Yeah,
thought, right,
a lot
this is the start again now.
All that whole tour was insane because we played some really big places, and with the festival circuit in the summer here.
Of course, you did more festivals on that tour as well, didn't you? Yeah.
How we did, and then we did it again. I think the next summer we did like Wacken, the big German festival, and then we did the Polish Woodstock in 2013, which was.
You headlined that, didn't you?
I think we did. I mean, I heard we did.
It's a strange one, Polish Woodstock, isn't it?
It was great though, man. It's the biggest show this band's ever played. Yeah, even back when we were platinum, top 10. It was insane.
Yeah, absolutely. I've heard about that. That's one show to try and get over to. Is Polish Woodstock.
It's great all around, the vibe there and everything.
Yeah. So after this tour, what's in the future for Ugly Kid Joe now?
We're hoping to get some more tours. Simple as that.
Have you any penciled in, or
Not really. No, we're just doing some acoustic stuff in Germany and then France, and then nothing that But you know, there's some rumblings about Australia and things like that. And
Yeah.
hoping to come here next summer if we can.
Excellent. Well, there will be, because the band's back and the album's fantastic.
Thank you.
So I'm sure it'll just go on for a long, long time.
There's Zach.
Hopefully. Hello, Zach.
Hey, buddy.
Half naked Zach.
Yeah.
Just rolled out
I
of
think I
bed.
slept for like 16 hours.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
I'm jealous, yeah.
So bad.
Nice.
Right, all fresh for tonight then. On that note, thank you very much, Klaus. It's been
Thank
a
you.
pleasure talking to you. Good luck tonight. Good luck
All
for the
right.
rest of the tour.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Feel